in this video we're going to talk about how to muck out. Before we start mucking out, we first of all need to remove anything that we don't actually need in the stable. Quite normally you'd have an empty hay net, empty water buckets and empty feed buckets if you're mucking out in the morning when you first come to the yard. So I'm going to remove my hay net and I'm going to place that somewhere that is not going to be a hazard, so outside the stable and not in the middle of a walkway. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove my water bucket, which is quite empty. Now it's very important when you're lifting, say, the water bucket, you don't bend your back over. So make sure you bend your knees. Ideally if you had two, it'd be a little bit easier because then you'd be balanced out. I'm going to keep your back straight when you lift, so you're lifting from your legs. We're going to take this out. Now, when I'm going to enter the wheelbarrow, the correct way to put the wheelbarrow in is like so. And this is so the handles point out. This is particularly important if you had a horse in the stable because you don't want them having the risk of getting their legs caught on the handles. So, regardless of whether the horse is in here or not, ideally, let's make sure the wheelbarrow is facing in this way. There may be occasions when you'd have it the other way round, which might be if you had the horse tied up outside, you might then put it in the other way round because again, we don't want the handles sticking out towards the horse's legs. It's all about using some common sense and thinking about which way things are safer. So, when it comes to mucking out, she's having a full muck out today. So what we're going to do is get rid of the dog. Come on, out you go. And the first thing we're going to do is remove the droppings. Then what we're going to do is, as I'm going to put the clean bedding up the wall. Out, get out. And then as I get further down, I'm going to start to find the wet. And when I find the wet, I'm then obviously going to take that out and put that in the wheelbarrow. So I'm going to just start now by removing the droppings. So once I'm at the point where I've removed all the droppings, I then get to the final bit where there's some wee. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to check that I'm taking out the wet patch. And I'm lucky with her, she's quite clean, so there never is that much wet. So the next thing I'm going to do is just make sure I bank all of this up. So, usually at the front of the stable you'll just find you've got some loose bit of dust and loose hay. If it was particularly clean I would have moved it to one side and kept it, but this is just what's fallen out of the hay net overnight. So last thing I'm going to do is just move the wheelbarrow out of the way. Shovel to pick up the last bit there. Okay, so now I'm going to put in my bedding. You can see already the floor's started to dry out a little bit. It smells a little bit less weedy in here, which is great. So I'm going to see, this is miscanthus that I use for my horse. It's totally up to you which bedding you use for your horse. It's personal preference and whatever works for your routine is totally up to you. So the way in which people like to put in bedding can vary. Some people like to pull down the old bedding and use that almost as a base and then put the clean bedding on top and bank it up. Some people like to mix it. Some people will put in half a bale and then add the half bale in the week. Me personally, she has a daily muck out. If I was on a really busy week, she'd be deep littered sometimes for the week and then mucked out the weekend. I don't generally find it makes much difference from week to week. So as I've got a bit of time at the moment, she's having a daily muck out every day. Personally for me, I mix it in. I just find that way I don't end up taking out all the clean bedding if it's on top. Again, that's totally up to you, however you want to do it. So what I'm going to do now is just mix it in and start to pull the bed down. So if I get to the point where I've got enough bedding down, but I still have a little bit left over, this is when I will put up a bank to use at a later date. So here, I will just evenly spread this out along the back of the wall. And then if I need to use that during the week, which I will do, I'll put it down. Finally, I'll just remove my bag and just sweep that last bit back. So once we've finished, the only last thing we'd have to do is put in my waters and put in a hang net for the night. Now, because I know I find her waters very heavy, I'm going to ask my cameraman to help me, which now means we're going to have to stop filming. So this was a video for mucking out today. Hopefully you'll find this helpful rather than just having to read about it. Parts of this will come up in the test at the end, so please make sure you've watched it thoroughly. And like I said in the research, we might touch on points on this, but you might also have to go and find out your own information. So hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you look forward to your next one.